Good morning, everyone. You're watching Barnstable this morning. Joining me now for our art segment is Melissa Valliere. You are such an amazing artist. You're recently moved to the Cape.
Yes.
You actually came here. Your husband is now working for the symphony.
Correct.
Welcome to Cape Cod. We're
Thank
excited
you.
to have you here.
It's good to be here.
And let's talk a little bit about your art, because your art is very unique.
Okay.
Describe it if you can for our viewers.
Well, I call it lyrical abstracts. The reason is I paint to music.
And talk to me a little bit about painting to music. Okay. It's hard for, I think, initially when you were explaining it to me, it was kind of hard for me to understand what you meant. So talk to me about that process.
Okay, so every day my husband picks music, and I don't know what it's going to be. And I put the iPod in the docking station. I already have paints out. I pick a size of canvas. I don't know what I'm going to be painting to. So it's really just how energetic am I feeling today. That determines the size of what I'll be painting on. Then the music starts, and I just go with it. And it's like dancing with a paintbrush in your hand. You're just trying to capture the notes and the feeling of the music in color. And it all corresponds with how music is laid out and how the colors are laid out. And then I guess the pattern is the rhythm of the music. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It does. And it creates such amazing pieces. In fact, I want to talk about one of your collections. You did the 27 Club. So you actually took music from musicians who passed away at the age of 27.
That's correct.
And that was actually the Hilton Hotel bought that series.
Yeah, so it's the musicians that died at 27, and they're painted not as, I was thinking about flowers, and I was thinking of flowers past their prime, kind of when they wilt. To me, that's when they're at perfection and really beautiful. And so I intentionally painted these musicians sort of as flowers. And so it's like Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison and Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain. There's one more. Yeah, Janis Joplin. And then since then I've painted another one when I was in Memphis, but that's not part of that collection. So yeah, they're there. And I put QR codes next to the paintings so people can scan it with their smartphone and hear the music that goes to the painting.
Oh, neat.
Because more is more.
Yeah.
When you're painting abstract, you want people to really understand what you want to leave it open so they can interpret it, but you also want to give them enough information so they know kind of what you're thinking.
When did you begin painting?
When I was 4, or before that. I started selling it when I was 4 years old.
Really?
Before my parents are both artists, and I would get up in the morning before they were even out of bed, and I would be in my feety pajamas going door to door selling my art off of like a little cardboard cigarette tray thing that I made from I Love Lucy. I saw it on TV, so I put my artwork on there, knock on the door, 2, 3, and 4 cents. I don't know, I had it going on already then.
So your parents must have put a paintbrush in your hand from very early on.
They didn't stop me. They didn't encourage me, they didn't stop me.
Awesome. When did you know it was something you really wanted to focus on in your career?
It's the only thing I've done my whole life in one way or another. I've had a tile company where I painted on toilets and sinks and fired them. I painted walls and homes. Everybody had brand new houses and they wanted them to look really old and European. I don't know, everything I've done my entire life, except for some waitressing, which I think all artists at some point have to do.
Right, just to
things
pay
like
the
that.
bills.
Exactly. But more or less for my whole life, it's been about art.
It's so cool too. Your work is so unique and different, and I think what a combination to have that music connection.
It's all about the music.
Yeah.
The music is like little vacations that you take every day, and there's such great music, and as I call it, genre agnostic. I get that from my husband. He really loves all music and has quite the collection. And no, it's wonderful. So if you can just interpret the emotion of the music, that's
so
a
cool.
good muse.
I want to talk about another adventure that you actually went on, because I think this is such a cool thing that you did. You went on an Airstream journey.
Right.
Talk to me. This was a year-long trip for you, right?
Yeah, 15 months actually. We went on the Airstream factory tour in Ohio, and we thought they were cool, and we bought one. And then we got a truck, and lo and behold, my husband and I, who have never driven a truck, here we go, heading out. Put everything in storage, and destination unknown. We traveled across the country. We went up into Nova Scotia. We went down into Mexico. We stayed at farms, agri-farms. We stayed with hillbillies. We stayed with like people everywhere on the beach. And I painted everywhere. I mean, there's a lot of land out west that is, I forget the name for it, but you basically just drive onto the land and you can stay there. And so, it was fascinating.
Now, was that, I'm sure that was an inspiration for a lot of pieces. Did you produce a lot of art during that time?
A ton of work. A lot of it. So in here is the picture, but I'm painting, and basically, my paint studio is the tailgate of the pickup truck, so that's not a lot of room. And I had to pack it all up. And plus I had a few shows that I had to go to while I was on the road, so I had to show up in places for those. One was in Columbus at the gallery. I'm represented in there, and for a AIDS resource center there. One was in Nemacolin in Pennsylvania. But I think, it's really different. It's a different collection of work. There's a lot of small pieces that are landscape, plein air type things, and then I was also doing the painting to the music, so I have, both.
Wonderful. Now, have you found anywhere here locally, I know you just moved, so I could be putting you on the spot, but have you found anywhere locally yet to show some of your art?
Not yet, but I'm going to look at a gallery today, and then I have another one that's interested, so I'm excited to find a match.
Yeah, absolutely. Very exciting. Well, and the Cape is such a creative place. We have so many artists.
There are so many artists.
And I think it's just the nature and the ocean and all of that stuff. I think it really attracts an artistic community. So you picked the right place to come, I think.
Right. No, that's my husband. He's to blame. He's the one that causes us to move to all these places, working for different symphonies.
What do you think is the most significant thing about your artwork that you want individuals to take away when they view it?
I say that I want to say more and do less. So when I paint representational, I spell it out for you, and you look at it and you say, oh, there's a barn and a tree, and that's lovely. But when I do less, then I want to get people to look at it, but I really want them to look at it, and I want them to look at it more, and then I want them to interact with it. So it's not something that I'm doing for them. They actually get more out of participating in the journey of discovery.
Wonderful. Well, we definitely want to keep in touch, and you'll have to let us know when you find a match and find a gallery so we can come check more pieces out. But in the interim, while everyone's waiting, do you have a website that you could give us to direct our viewers to?
I do. It's Valliere, so that's MVALLIERE.com. And
Wonderful.
It doesn't say on there, but when you get to Inspired by Music, you have to click on the images, and it'll open them up. It'll tell you about the music. It'll has two little things to play the music or hear my story about what I was thinking or
awesome. So
whatever.
We can visit the website, we can see the piece, but then also listen to the music while we view the piece on the website.
That's right.
So cool. I think that's what I'm going to do when I go sit down at my desk. I'm going to pull that website up. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you in a local gallery.
Great. Thank you.
Artist Melissa Valliere is our guest today for Barnstable This Morning. I'm Sarah Mannel. And I didn't say